Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program launch of the 33rd Annual Virginia Film Festival. My name is Jody Kilbasa. I'm Vice Provost for the Arts at the University of Virginia, and I'm proud to share the program we have put together this year, which, as you know, will include both virtual screenings, virtual conversations, and drive-in movies. But before I get to that, I'd like to pay a special tribute to a man whose vision and dedication are quite literally the reason we are here tonight. Last year, just after our 2019 festival, the Commonwealth lost one of its great leaders with the passing of Governor Gerald Baliles. And we lost a founder of the Virginia Film Festival, who never lost his passion for this organization and who was a trusted mentor and friend throughout my years here at the University of Virginia and here in Charlottesville. I'd like to announce this evening that we are dedicating the 2020 Virginia Film Festival to Governor Baliles. We plan to create an award in his name and look forward to formally announcing details early next year. And now, I'd like to take a moment to thank the organizations who make what we do possible. Of course, the Virginia Film Festival is a program of the University of Virginia, and I'd like to offer my thanks to UVA President Jim Ryan and Provost Liz McGill for their support. A very special thank you to our presenting sponsor, the Joseph and Robert Cornell Memorial Foundation, Joe Erdman, and Melissa Young trustees. What you've done for the Virginia Film Festival and for all of the arts in our community of Charlottesville is extraordinary, and we are truly grateful. Thank you to our sustaining sponsors, Bank of America, UVA Arts, Virginia Film Office, VPM PBS. Thank you to our investing sponsors, the Charlottesville-Albemarle Airport, Charlottesville Radio Group, the City of Charlottesville, the County of Albemarle, Seaville Weekly, the Dairy Market, UVA Arts Council, UVA Gamma Knife Center, and Wells Fargo Bank. And of course, a special thanks to our program launch event sponsors, presenting sponsor, the Charlottesville-Albemarle Airport, and supporting sponsor, the Virginia Film Office. I am incredibly proud of the program I'm about to share with you this evening. The circumstances we find ourselves in as a community, industry, country, and the world have forced us all to make many changes and adapt to a new normal we never could have imagined months ago. And our team at the Virginia Film Festival has done an extraordinary work moving into a new festival model that was literally being developed in real time all around us. Further, I want to add that at a time when so many arts organizations are struggling to move forward, I am tremendously grateful that we as an organization are still able to not only operate in this environment, but to continue to do what we do best. The 2020 Virginia Film Festival will further the reputation we have built for ourselves as a premier arts organization and as one of America's leading regional film festivals. Our program manager, Chandler Fairby, and I, with support from our incredible team of guest programmers, have worked to curate a deep, rich, and diverse program that we hope will deliver what our audience has come to expect from us. I'm also proud to share with you that the festival has continued our commitment to diversity and equity in our program, an effort that was redoubled in the wake of the many tragic events that we've seen across our country this year. It is imperative to me and to our entire team that we represent and share the stories that reflect the entire spectrum of film artists who are doing so much to shine a light on the world we live in. You will see this commitment reflected in our 2020 program in many ways, and I am especially proud to say that over 50% of the filmmakers included in our program and the artists, experts, and community members participating in our virtual discussions are either women or represent Black, Indigenous, and people of color communities. And now, onto our program announcement. As you will see in the following slides, this year's festival features 3 categories: our drive-in movies, virtual special presentation events, and our virtual film program. We're so glad to be partnering with our friends at Dairy Market in Charlottesville, which will bring a brand new culinary and hospitality experience to our region with its opening later this fall. And with the University of Virginia's stunning Morven Farm in southeastern Albemarle County to bring audiences together in the safest, most socially distanced way possible for drive-in movie experiences at this year's Virginia Film Festival. I'm also thrilled because it allows us to maintain some of our long-standing traditions at the festival of offering an opening night, centerpiece, and closing night film. Tickets to our drive-in movie series will go on sale at noon this Thursday, October 8th. This year's official opening night film will be One Night in Miami. It's the directorial debut of Academy Award-winning actor Regina King, based on a Kemp Powers play about a fictionalized meeting in February of 1964 between Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown. The four gather to celebrate Cassius Clay's famous victory over Sonny Liston, making him the heavyweight champion of the world. Now, there's plenty of cause for celebration, but over the course of the evening, these friends begin to discuss their roles as influential black men, the struggles they endure, and the roles they think they can and should play in the upcoming civil rights movement. Our opening night film is presented by Bank of America. This year's centerpiece film is Ammonite, which features Kate Winslet as a highly accomplished 19th century paleontologist on the rocky southern coastline of England. A wealthy visitor entrusts her with the care of his ailing wife, played by Saoirse Ronan. Winslet's Mary Anning becomes an unwilling caretaker who has little patience for her charge. The story of the relationship that develops between the two is beautifully told and exquisitely acted, with many calling it one of the best performances of Kate Winslet's career. We're very proud to present Nomadland as our closing night film. This was the Audience Award winner at Toronto and is an outstanding film that perfectly captures the sense of displacement we feel today. It stars Frances McDormand as a woman who, after losing everything in the Great Recession, takes off in a van and travels the West, joining a community of nomadic people who have been left behind or who have chosen to be left behind. This is a film that is not only fascinating to watch, but one that will stay with you long after the experience of seeing it. Our closing night film is presented by Wells Fargo. Other drive-in movies include Gunda, a beautiful documentary from Norway that takes you into the world of farm animals in a way you've never seen them before. MLK, FBI, a film based on newly declassified documents regarding the government's relentless campaign of surveillance and harassment of Martin Luther King Jr. Shithouse. This is a fun coming-of-age, micro-budget film written by, directed by, and starring Cooper Raiff as a college freshman dealing with the struggles of leaving home. Shiva Baby is a sharp and funny film about a 22-year-old woman who joins her family to sit Shiva, and in the process, both reveals and learns secrets that make for hilarious, awkward, and unforgettable moments. And finally, a thank you to our drive-in movie sponsors: UVA Arts, AV Company, Morven, Dairy Market, Charlottesville Albemarle Convention, and Visitors Bureau. And now on to our virtual special presentation events. These events will be offered for free, and registration for these will begin this Thursday, October 8th at noon. A conversation with Leslie Odom Jr., or welcoming back Leslie Odom Jr. for a special conversation about his role as legendary artist Sam Cooke in One Night in Miami, and also about his remarkable career. Of course, Leslie performed at UVA's bicentennial celebration and was UVA's President Speaker for the Arts, and we're thrilled to have him back with us. A tribute to Thomas Newman. We are delighted to welcome award-winning film composer Thomas Newman for a conversation with Charlottesville Symphony at the University of Virginia's orchestra director Benjamin Rouse. Mr. Newman is part of a film-scoring dynasty that includes his father Alfred and his cousin Randy Newman. He has earned 15 Academy Award nominations, and his filmography includes The Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, American Beauty, Finding Nemo, the James Bond film Skyfall and Spectre, and of course last year's Golden Globe-winning film for Best Picture, 1917. Newman will be joined by his frequent collaborator, writer, director, producer John Lee Hancock, whose credits include The Blind Side, Alamo, and Saving Mr. Banks. And now, on to our virtual program of over 50 feature films, curated shorts, packages, discussions, panels, and more. All events in our virtual program are accessible with our virtual all-access pass, currently on sale now on our website at virginiafilmfestival.org. Individual tickets for these films and events will go on sale on Wednesday, October 21st. Our special guest conversations include a conversation with Annette Bening, I'm very excited to announce that Annette Bening, one of the most extraordinary actors working today, will join us for a special conversation with Turner Classic Movies host Ben Mankiewicz. Our conversation with Annette Bening is sponsored by Gamma Knife. A conversation on Showtime's The Good Lord Bird. As many of you know, the Virginia Film Office, under the leadership of Virginia Film Festival Advisory Board member Andy Edmonds, has done an incredible job of bringing both high-profile and independent projects to the Commonwealth. One of these projects is The Good Lord Bird, the new Showtime limited series based on James McBride's book and featuring Ethan Hawke as the abolitionist John Brown. We're so glad to welcome Ethan Hawke back to the festival this year to discuss the project with author James McBride and Joshua Caleb Johnson, who co-stars with Ethan in the series. They'll be joined by series executive producer and showrunner Mark Richard and costume designer Amy Andrews. Our conversation on The Good Lord Bird is presented by the Virginia Film Office and courtesy of Showtime. A conversation with Pete Souza and Chris Liu. There are few people who have had a closer view of history in the making through several presidential administrations than Pete Souza. Known by many as the White House photographer for all 8 years of the Obama administration, Pete also worked in the White House during the Reagan years. We're happy to welcome him to talk about the new documentary, The Way I See It, combining interviews with Pete and some of his colleagues over the years, and of course is highlighted by his incredible photos. Pete will be joined for the conversation by Chris Liu, the former Undersecretary of Labor and Assistant to President Obama. This event is presented in association with the Miller Center. A conversation with Linda Hamilton. After completing the first 2 films as Sarah Connor, one of Hollywood's most iconic, strong female characters in the Terminator franchise, she took an intentional decades-long break from the spotlight before returning for last year's Terminator: Dark Fate. At the age of 62, she brought Sarah back as the true action hero she is, stunts and all, once again proving herself as a true trailblazer. We're excited to hear about this process and so much more in this special conversation with Linda Hamilton, moderated by UVA President Jim Ryan. A conversation with Vince Gilligan and Mark Johnson. As you may know, these 2 gentlemen have a bit of a history, and we are very proud to say that that history began right here at the Virginia Film Festival in its very first year, when our Academy Award-winning Advisory Board Chair presented Vince with the Governor's Screenwriting Award. The rest is television history, as the 2 went on to make AMC's groundbreaking Emmy Award-winning Breaking Bad and the current sequel, Better Call Saul. We look forward to hearing them share thoughts and memories about their remarkable collaboration in a conversation moderated by UVA's William Little, who teaches a course on Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Our conversation with Vince Gilligan is supported by the Virginia Film Office. We wanted to spotlight 3 extraordinary films with discussions attached in this year's program that we feel really stand out. Boys State. I'm really excited to spotlight Jesse Moss and Amanda McBain's documentary Boys State, which won this year's Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival. It's an at once entertaining and worrisome chronicling of a high school civics program that offers unavoidable parallels to both the political present and future. The filmmakers had remarkable access to the Texas Boys State competition, where more than 1,000 students came together to form a mock government. It's safe to say you'll recognize the behaviors that ensue, and it is clear that our current political divides are not lost on the youth of this country. The Atlantic called the film a nerdier, less lethal Lord of the Flies. We're really looking forward to a conversation moderated by Professor Larry Sabato, director of the UVA Center for Politics, and including former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, the filmmakers, and several of the subjects featured in the film. Boys State is supported by the UVA Center for Politics. When my time comes, we will welcome legendary NPR host Diane Rehm with her new film, When My Time Comes, an examination of the Right to Die movement and how the death of her husband of 54 years led her to explore the option of medical aid in dying. The film interweaves Diane's own story with those of people from around the country and with the input of experts on both sides of this issue. which is legal in 8 states and the District of Columbia. Diane will be joined by the film's director and producer, Joe Fab, and his co-producer, Festival Advisory Board member Diane Naughton. Never Too Late, the Doc Severinsen story, with Doc Severinsen. Doc Severinsen was a true cultural icon of television's golden age in the 1970s and 80s. As the bandleader for Johnny Carson and a mainstay of the show, known for his incredible musical skills and a wardrobe that was every bit as loud as his trumpet. He's now 92 years old, but still maintains a demanding performance schedule. This heartwarming film has Doc looking back, playing out, and serving in one of his most cherished roles as a mentor to young musicians. Doc will be joining us to discuss the film for this conversation. And now I'd like to welcome our program manager, Chandler Farabee. Take it away, Chandler.
Hi, everyone. As Jody said, I'm Chandler Farabee, the program manager for the Virginia Film Festival, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you a little bit more about our program. I'm so glad that we are able to still present a series of spotlight discussions virtually to our audiences this year, including a conversation on the South on Screen with writer, actor, director Ray McKinnon. McKinnon has been seen in films such as Ford v Ferrari and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and is the creator of the television show Rectify. We'll also be presenting a discussion around Netflix's documentary Athlete A with directors Bonnie Cohen and John Schenk. Athlete A is an incredibly powerful documentary about the young gymnast who exposed the sexual abuse within USA Gymnastics. We will also be featuring a panel discussion around a film that is incredibly important to me, The Social Network, in honor of its 10th anniversary. The panel is called The Antisocial Network. Participating will be UVA professor and author Siva Vaidyanathan, author Roger McNamee, and strategist Yael Eisenstadt. I'm incredibly proud to present our new American Perspective series. During this incredibly divided time, there is much debate over what makes someone an American. For us, it is defined by a resiliency of spirit, an optimism for a better life, and an empathy for your fellow man. These films showcase the complicated and diverse stories of America today. I'd like to highlight a couple of them, including The Evening Hour, which is a fantastic narrative film about the opioid crisis in Appalachia. Gather, a documentary about Indigenous Americans reconnecting to their roots around food. And Hamtramck USA, a terrific documentary about the first Islamic city in America and the people running for office there. I'm really excited to be able to talk about our new Women in Film series, giving a spotlight to female filmmakers. Some of the films in that series include Women in Blue, an incredibly timely documentary about women working in the Minneapolis Police Department. Freeland, a narrative film starring the incredible Cretia Fairchild, who plays a black market marijuana farmer who finds her world turned upside down when forced to go legal. And Coded Bias, a documentary about an African-American female scientist who discovers that our facial recognition technology isn't as unbiased as we thought. We are continuing our long tradition of offering a robust selection of new documentaries, including Statecraft, the Bush 41 team, directed by local director Lori Shinseki, takes a look back at the tenure of our 41st president, and Feels Good Man, one of my favorite films I've seen this year. It uses creative storytelling and psychedelic animation to tell the story of a meme gone horribly wrong. I'm so happy that I'm joined on our programming team by our fantastic guest programmers, including Federico Quetzalcoatl, a UVA professor and Indigenous artist who is presenting a series on transborder Blackness and indigeneity in Mexico. Joe Fab, a documentary filmmaker who has programmed all of our shorts. UVA professor Samhita Sunya continues her Middle Eastern and South Asian film series, and Ilya Tovish, director of the Washington Jewish Film Festival, programs our Jewish and Israeli film series. 2020 has been an amazing year for independent film, and I'm really excited to be able to highlight some of these as our hidden gems this year, including Jumbo, which stars Noemi Merlant, who was in last year's Portrait of a Lady on Fire. This year, she is in love with an amusement park attraction. We also have Dinner in America, a punk rock love story with really great original music, and Electric Jesus, a story about a 1980s Christian hair metal band. We are so proud to present films from the Commonwealth of Virginia. Some of those include The Judge, Character, Cases, Courage. It tells the story of Robert Marriage Jr., a judge in the Richmond courts who oversaw many landmark court cases. Alice, a documentary about the legendary composer Alice Parker, directed by Charlottesville native Eduardo Montes Bradley. And we are presenting The Reunited States, a documentary about people trying to bridge the political divide, 3 of whom live right here in Charlottesville. Now, I'm happy to pass it back to Jody so he can tell you a little bit more about this year's festival.
Thank you, Chandler. I'd like to share some important dates with all of you. First of all access virtual passes are on sale right now. Thursday, October 8th, our full program goes live on our website at virginiafilmfestival.org at 10 a.m., and ticket sales begin for drive-in movies and special presentation events at noon. On Wednesday, October 21st, virtual all-access pass unlocks begin, and single tickets go on sale. Sunday, October 25th, the unlock window and single ticket sales close at 11:59 p.m. I'd also like to share with you some helpful resources for this year's festival. We know that participating in a film festival online is new for everyone, and it may have been a while since you last attended a drive-in movie. So we pulled together a series of helpful pages on our website in hopes of addressing frequently asked questions and offering our patrons support around their 2020 Virginia Film Festival experience from beginning to end. Please visit virginiafilmfestival.org to find our festival guide, virtual program, and drive-in frequently asked questions, and our technical support page. Finally, I'd like to say thank you to the Virginia Film Festival team for working so hard against all odds to pull together this incredible event for our community of Charlottesville. I'd like to thank as well the Virginia Film Festival Advisory Board for their support, advice, and counsel, and a special thanks to you, all of our friends, supporters, and patrons who continue to support us throughout this. We hope you all stay safe and well, and that you enjoy the 2020 Virginia Film Festival. Thanks so much for all of your support, and we'll see you at the movies. Take care, everyone.